Hey everyone, so today I thought I'd show you how I do my new iruma makeup. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started, eh? Okay, first of all, we're going to put on our wig caps. I use a black fishnet one, which I just think helps blend with my hairline, and I'm just quite comfortable using them. Now I've got these bobby pins. I'm going to pin them all over my head. First is in the top. I do one at the base of my hair and two on the sides. For longer wigs or something that needs to stay a bit more tight to my head, I tend to add more bobby pins. I find that the bobby pins alone seem to make it hold really nicely. So I'm just putting those all over the wig cap and then we'll move on. Okay, so next up I tape my face. I've only recently started doing this, but I use something called Netcare Flexible Clear Tape. So what I'll do with that is I will take two pieces of tape usually along each side of my face, making sure I'm lifting up, not near my eyes because of the whole controversy there. So with that one, we're just going to make sure it's stuck down quite nice and tight on the side of my face. I take one piece across the base of my head and then I go ahead with the second piece and not necessarily pull up with this piece. I just place it on the side just for an extra bit of support to help with it. And then usually what I'll do is I'll take an extra piece if I need to and place it across the top, connecting both sides of my face together just to hold it in there for security. Now if I am doing this for a longer period of time, I will usually go ahead and make sure that I add a little bit more security to that with maybe some more tape, or potentially gluing the sides of my wigs down just to cover it, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. Okay, so next up is makeup. I like to use a wet sponge to help with mine. Now I'm taking this concealer called the High Cover Cream Concealer. I got this one online. I just find that it matches my skin a lot better than any of the ones I seem to be able to get around here. So I'll take that and I'll put that all over my face where I have some problem areas, and usually in the inner corner of my eyes, as you can see me doing now. So with that one, I only make sure that I cover up the bits that need it and I don't go crazy because I know that I'm going to put foundation over the top and blend everything together anyway. So once that's all placed on, I'll then take my sponge and I'll go ahead and smooth it all out or blend it out a little bit before applying my actual foundation. Okay, so next up is my foundation. Now the one I'm using at the moment is by Too Faced. It's called Ju You and it is full coverage. I like this one just because I feel like it matches my skin tone the best, as I'm quite pale, as you can clearly see. I'm quite ghostly, I like to think. And I do find it hard to get something that doesn't look a little too different to my skin tone. So this one seems to be quite nice for me at the moment, at least, until I find something else new to try. So I go ahead and I use, usually it's about one pump per half of my face. Sometimes I might need a little bit extra, but I just place that one on and dab it all around and blend it out nicely. Now I will also make sure that I take that under my eyes and close to where my eye lines and things like that are, just to help make sure everything's covered. Next up for me is powder. So I'm currently using the Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder in Translucent. So I go ahead with a big fluffy brush and I take that all over my face, making sure that I do a really good coat, just because I find for me powder is the key to making my skin look quite nice, and it helps make sure that my makeup holds all day. Now for me personally, I do my powder from my eyes outwards and then work my way around my face, going to my forehead and then my cheeks and chin area. Not sure why I started doing that, but I just find it's easier to set my eyes first and then everywhere else after that. And now we're up to blush. I've got this matte blush. I picked it up just from like one of those stores in the middle of a shopping centre, but it's really pigmented for me, which is quite nice, and it has two really strong colours I find work really well for cosplay. So I take a smaller fluffy brush and I usually start in the apples of my cheeks and bring it up under my eyes. I'm not sure why I started doing this, but I just think it helps blend it out and gives you a little bit more colour, especially where, depending on your wig sits, sometimes it can kind of cut your cheek off a little bit. So I just go ahead and take that one all over my cheeks, and I usually do a lot more pigment than what's probably necessary, but trust me, once you've put a wig on and you've got all the other cosplay makeup on, it doesn't look odd at all. I think it's just because you need that extra bit of colour in comparison to such bright costumes and outfits. Okay, you're probably not going to be able to copy me exactly with this one because I actually won this palette, but I'm loving the pigments in it. So I'm taking this pinky red. It's showing up a little bit too red on the camera at the moment, but it is more of a pinky red, and I'm putting that all over the outer corner of my eye, making kind of like a triangle shape getting ready for eyeliner, just because I find that that's the easiest shape for me. Now I am using a tiny brush just to help me get that shape. You can use whatever brushes you like. I just find it easier to work with a smaller brush at the moment as I'm still a beginner and I'm still learning. Now I'm only taking that pigment about halfway across my eye. That's because I'm going to come in with some glitter in a moment and kind of blend the two together. Now I'm just going to do the same on the other eye and make sure that they kind of match or as close as I can. Okay, and yep, that was upside down because I'm a genius and I do my makeup blind. But I'm taking this kind of pink silver glitter, I guess you would say. Also won this in the same kind of event. And I'm taking that across all of my eye from the inner corner to the middle of my eye, kind of joining the two together, and then I'll alternate between putting some more glitter on and putting some pigment in that middle area just to kind of blend them together a bit. I find it looks kind of harsh close up, especially if you're staring directly at them, but once we add eyeliner and add mascara and fake lashes, it actually doesn't look that bad. Now onto eyeliner. I will let you know I am doing this without my contact lenses in because I'm an idiot and I like making life hard for myself. So yeah, it's not the best, but I go back on later and I touch it up. So don't pick on my eyelining ability. But yes, so I'm taking a straight eyeliner all the way across in a black tone, making a point or a wing and then filling that in, which I don't do the best job of there, but like I said, come back later for it. And then once I've done that triangle in the wing area of my eye, I sweep it under my eye, leaving a gap because we're going to go in later and make that white with some white eyeliner. Now I'll go ahead and do the same on the other side, making them as close as possible. And then I take the white eye pencil and I'm going to start with the corner of my inner eye, and I'm going to add a quite thick heavy layer to that corner, and then I will come in and I'll fill in the rest of it, which I kind of had to do off camera because I couldn't really see what I was doing. So and now we're on to fake lashes. I use duo glue. This I can get kind of anywhere around me, which is great, and I find it's one of the strongest ones that I've ever used, so it works really well for long conventions and just in general for me. I place that all over my eyelashes and then wait for it to dry, blow on it a bit, you know, the usual. Then I start by placing it lightly where I want to put it on my eye, and then I'm just tapping and pressing it into my eye just to really get it to grip, and then I blink a couple times to make sure it's sitting comfortably, and then from there we just gotta wait for them to dry, touch up and press it in when need be, but it should be in pretty much the right position, so then when it finally fully dries, it'll stay nice and comfortable on my eye. I just do the same on the other side, tapping it all in, making sure that it's sitting where I want, adjusting it a little bit if need be, and then tapping and holding and waiting for it to dry again. Next up for me, I'm using Maybelline New York the Colossal mascara. I take this one and I just put it all over my eyes, making sure that I'm getting a good coating on my eyelashes into my fake eyelashes as well, because it'll help them blend together and stick a bit nicer. Now once I've gone ahead and I've done the tops and I'm feeling like they're coated and comfortable and blending in quite nicely, I'll do a very, very light coat on the bottom of my eyelashes. And now I'm going to move on to the lips. Okay, I'm taking this Apocalypse in a kind of hot pink and I'm just dabbing it along the inner part of my lips really lightly because I don't want a lot, because I'm going to take my finger in a moment and I'm blending it out along my lips. So as you can see, I'm just dabbing and tapping it all along my lips, swapping fingers when I feel like my fingers got a bit too much product on it, just to blend it out nice and faded. Now once I've gone ahead with the pink and I'm comfortable with the amount that I've got spread out, I'm going to take this cleary purple lipstick that I've had for ages and just run this one along my lips just to kind of blend it out and add a bit of a gloss to it as well, because before when we used the pink I didn't cover my whole lips, so it kind of looked a bit splotchy. And then that's going to be such a cute gradient. Okay, and that's it. So now I'm going to pop on my wig and my costume. Time to go be that genius girl inventor. Thank you for watching everyone, hope this helps. Bye guys!